It's Cindy, another Cindy here. We got Cindy Mauricio.
Yeah.
From Barnes and Nobles, and I was, gosh, you've been there so long. You've been so long. Why don't you sit over here? Oh, you're going to videotape it live? Oh, well, then I'll let you move around. You're recording.
Yeah.
Okay. So because when I was going, I had so many good times up there at the Barnes and Noble in Lahaina, Kaanapali, kind of. You're right on the outlet shop kind of area there.
Yeah, right across the cannery.
Yeah, and it was, she's good at this, isn't it? Look at her doing all this. Is it going to be on Facebook Live? Hi.
I could. Do you want me to do
Why don't you go Facebook Live, and then they can watch it on what page are they going to be on?
B in Kahului.
Mm-hmm.
B in Kahului?
Barnes and Noble Kahului.
B in Kahului.
Yeah. Kahului.
Oh, cool. I love it.
There
Okay.
we go.
But anyway, at that location, I had, Wayne Dyer came down one time.
Absolutely.
And he introduced me and was there for my first or second book. I can't remember which one. Mm-hmm. And we had some wonderful book signings there.
Yeah.
And it was, everyone was going, oh, we don't want Barnes and Noble to disappear because, there's something about books. Now, I have 6 books out, and I have them all on ebooks as well. Mm-hmm. But you can't do an ebook signing.
No.
At a bookstore, right?
No.
You books are something that you can open and you can hold, and I know it's changed with music and CDs, but still, I like to have a CD. I like to be able to play the CD. I like to look at the pictures. An MP3 is not the same thing. In fact, some of these things are really getting lost in the idea of doing MP3s and ebooks. So having a bookstore where people can go down and interact with you is so marvelous. So tell the story about, I'd like to hear the story of the transition of going from Barnes and Noble from the old location to the new location. How did that all evolve?
Oh, I try to forget about that. It was challenging because we went from a 24,000 square foot store to a 10,000 square foot store. So it's about half the size.
Wow.
A lot of the merchandise we donated, so that was a real honor on my part.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, it didn't hit the landfill. We donated it to a school, Kihei Charter School for one, when they were reestablishing, and a few of the cafe areas. But yeah, it was a challenge, but I'm just pleased that we're still here. And it was very hard to visualize the first day I walked into the new location. It's like cement floor, and I was like, how is this going to look like my bookstore?
So you basically were in charge of remodeling and designing this whole new location.
Well, they had the layout. The corporation had the layout, but really trying to envision where things would go and how it would fit. Yeah, that was pretty much my responsibility on that end. But
well, I've been around long enough on Maui, 30 years now, that I remember, and when it wasn't Barnes and Noble before.
Yeah.
But it was there. Mm-hmm. And I can't even remember.
Borders.
It was Borders.
It was Borders.
So
yeah,
long
it was.
Ago, I've forgotten
it was
now.
Crazy when we first opened 11 years ago. Borders was still in business.
Wow.
And so that's why the company decided to go on the west side.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was always like, we should be central. That was always my feeling. So it's kind of now it's in position.
But that place was happening. My gosh, it was so busy and. It wasn't just visitors. You'd have local people at Christmas time. Everyone would go there to buy their gifts, and it was like you'd see people in the cafe reading all the time, There'd be magazines, a great selection of magazines and books, and it was just always something interesting, great selection of travel books. I love travel. I used to always go there before a trip and get a travel book,
We have a great travel section as well, and you say magazines, and even though we don't have a cafe right now, we have so many people that frequent our magazines and come in. We have 2 big pillars of magazines, so
wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, because we don't, there's nowhere else really to get that here.
Yeah. Not the variety anyway.
No.
Yeah, we've got home and garden, we've got beauty, living, current affairs. You name it, we've got a little bit of something.
You know what people like?
Hunting, guns.
Bridal magazines are so, because so many people come.
Yeah.
Here to get married and stuff, or they plan their wedding or something like that, or they come early and plan their wedding. And
I think it's seasonal, but we definitely have a variety. Yeah.
But it's just really nice to know that also that that you're going to be that you are supporting musicians,
Yeah.
and authors.
Yeah.
And I always remember at the old location that you had, also there was children's area, and the children area was very popular because people would come, and even at Borders too, they'd be able to have kids reading in the children's book. We had a special little room and everything. It was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Because children books, that's another thing. An e-book for children, reading books to children with an e-book do not work.
Turn the page.
Yeah, you cannot. And it's also visual with these pictures that you have on children's books. And that's something that is lost in translation.
Oh, yeah. The
with an
illustrators
e-book.
are amazing.
Yeah.
The kids' books, yeah.
So that's something you're also going to try to get an institute again is...
Well, the one thing I do miss in the old location is the stage. We had that amazing little stage, and we've created a cubby. We've moved some things around so that when authors come in and illustrators like Jill McBarnett's going to be in on Tuesday for our surprise anniversary.
It's no surprise anymore.
Yeah, surprise. Well, she's got a mermaid visitor as well with her. So,
that's a surprise.
We've created like a little stage area for them so parents could come in and take photos with her and the mermaid. And,
fun.
So you got to create space.
Well, let's talk about your anniversary. I'm very excited about it.
Thank you.
1 year's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like have a baby, how baby anniversaries here on the island.
Yeah.
So it's like really, you made it to 1 year. That's a big celebration. And the big celebration is also, it's not just that you made it to 1 year, but you did make the commitment to stay for a 5-year lease.
Yes. Yeah, that was very exciting because the first few months it was like temporary, and then we really didn't find another location. And then once I finally got the news that they were negotiating, with the property management, and they've been excellent to us. So, yeah, we're very excited. Yeah.
Well, and it's necessary at that shopping center.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's really needed because Lowe's left there, right? And Sports Authority and everything. So, I mean, you're a vital part of being needed there,
It's a nice transition. I heard, some positive things, and the property's not for sale anymore,
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, we're just...
So what do you do to celebrate? It's not like a baby anniversary of sorts, but what do you celebrate a bookstore that's first anniversary? What do you do for that?
I think it's a celebration of gratitude for the community, for supporting us for a year, also provoking the lease agreement and making a cafe and really creating that experience of a cozy place to come.
So important, yeah.
We're really trying to evolve in that sense as far as the cafe. And
tell us about the cafe.
Well, what I do know is that it's called the Cafe Kiosk, but it's still going to be a full experience. All the Starbucks drinks will be made.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and they're going to outsource. I don't know finally who it is, but they're outsourcing a local bakery. So I think that'll be awesome.
That is awesome.
It's like we were researching that initially, and we were like, ooh, Komodas, ooh, homemade, ooh,
There's this wonderful bakery called Hoi Hoi Bakery down the street here.
Hoi
too.
Hoi, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's really good too down the street here.
So we're still looking into that and having something different.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a nice variety as well.
Very nice, yeah. And to be able to have the Starbucks drinks, because there is something about having a wonderful cup of coffee or chai, and to be able to sit down and look at the books. And that was one of the great things about your Barnes & Noble and also about Borders, was you could sit down and look at a book,
invest in it, spend some time, and get a good feel.
Yeah, fall in love with it.
Absolutely.
Read enough of it that you're going, I want this book,
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's not just a celebration of the store continuing, but it's a celebration of books continuing, because it is really of vital importance, I think, that books, for lots of reasons, survive.
Oh, yeah.
Hard copy books, because, hard copy books are a special feeling. I mean, there's something about reading a book at night and putting a bookmark in that book, and knowing that you can look ahead a few pages.
Yeah, you don't have to turn it off or on.
You don't have
or
to
charge
turn it. And that
it.
light, I kind of wonder if that's really, that blue light thing is really good for you sometimes. They've said things. I mean, just to be able to hold a book and to open the book somewhere. Yeah. I wrote this book, Prayers, Affirmations, and Meditation, so you could just open the book to where it's right. You can't do that in an ebook.
No,
You
sure
can't just, it takes you where you left off or maybe a page or two
Yeah.
before, but it's not like you pick it up and open to where it's right for you.
Yeah, it's
So
like a chore. You got to find the page you were at, but here it's
Yeah.
just at your whim. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is something marvelous about books. And as you said, this is something important for visitors as well. When people don't realize it, but I mean, I travel a lot. And I always pick a book or two to be my book on a trip, right?
Yeah.
And if you're coming and you know you're going to be resting, maybe sitting out on your lanai or going to the beach, you want a book.
Yeah.
You want a book to read during that time. You want a book that you're going to read on the plane, coming and going. A book that you can love just makes the time fly by.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing like being in a book you don't want to put down on a plane because you just totally get into that book and forget about everything else, right?
Yeah, I think like holding a book is tangible. You know, like you said, you're at the beach and it's like a memory. So you see that book sitting on your shelf, you're like, oh, I remember that. You know, I drug that along with me here or there. Yeah, it's like a memory. So
I've been to a few places where I've traveled to, and it's been really interesting to see this new tradition that's going on, where you will have on the side. I saw it in New Zealand. It was a little wooden counter where they had books, and they said, take a book, leave a book.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, and again, you could not do this with an ebook.
No.
But how nice and there was a book there that I went, wow, this is really exciting. I've never heard of this book, but here's this book someone loved and had and is leaving it to be carried on to someone, right?
It's like a great circulation. Yeah, I saw that in the mainland. It looked like a birdhouse.
A little
and had a little
nesting place for
and
bird
I was
books.
telling myself, I got to do this on Maui. I mean,
Oh, how awesome.
Who not to
Yeah.
resource these books but me?
Well, wouldn't that be nice
Yeah.
if you could do that outside in the shopping center?
Absolutely.
Or maybe over there at the other Starbucks.
Even at the
and-
airport.
You know,
airport,
the
people
airport
come-
would be
yeah.
perfect
People
because
come
you
and
don't
go.
want to carry a book you've read.
I thought if
home
I
with
could
you.
create that and sponsored by Barnes
I
and Noble
love
or
that.
some kind of just check it every now and then.
You've got to try to do that. I think
Yeah,
that's a
one of my
brilliant idea.
dreams. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Try to-
or even at the Starbucks places or something, if you could have a place like that, because how many people go to Starbucks before they go to,
Yeah, the airport or.
in fact, there's a Starbucks at the airport, right? But where you could do that, because books are a gift, and books really expand our horizons and change our lives,
Absolutely.
And when I thought of books kind of becoming extinct, it really kind of hurt my soul. I'm going, God, what's happening with these bookstores going under, and not enough books out there, And when Borders went down, I was like, wow. I mean, I'd go there, I'd get Christmas gifts, I'd get cards, lovely cards. I'd always have my books that I would get. I did book signings there. I did radio shows there. It was like, it's part of our lifestyle.
Yeah.
When I first came here in 1986, that long ago, there was a little bookstore down on, it was down on Kahului. It was across from the Maui Mall. And it started with an A, Archers or something like that. And it was a bookstore and a coffee shop, and they did poetry readings. And it was so fabulous. Everyone would gather there. A long time ago. Remember that little bookstore there? It was where the old green building that got torn down was.
Where the
Kahului, it was across from the Maui Mall
it was
there.
the
Almost
material place, and then
yes,
there was a
exactly.
surf shop
And there was a
there,
bookshop
and-
years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was so sad when that closed down.
You're right. Yeah.
And now I saw a story on TV this last year. I saw it where they're saying that actually bookstores are starting to come back in New York and other places. That there's been a renaissance now of owner-operated little small stores that people are trying to gather because they need that kind of community feeling
Yeah, it's
of meeting authors, doing book signings, sitting down. There's a communal feeling you can get in a bookstore that you can't get any other place.
That's right. Like an interaction. That's one
Yeah.
of the greatest gifts of my day is like you never know who you'll meet. You'll never what conversation. And everyone's looking for something different. So I meet fascinating people
Do
every
you
day.
tell us about some experiences you've had over the years? Because you've been now with Barnes and Noble's
11 years. almost
11
12
years,
yeah.
long time.
Well, just as you were mentioning, like Wayne Dyer came in, he's like, "Hey, where's my book?" And then you start talking, and you're just like, "Oh my God!" Yeah. There's been tons of celebrities, especially in Lahaina, at that point, that would just come in and try to grab some magazines and what was the guy's name that
She's holding her hands
yeah.
up like I can tell. Big
No, I'm
hair.
sorry. I had to
big
think.
hair.
No, he has. Well, I'm not going to say he has a big head, but he has a big.
You did say
George Lopez.
George
yeah,
Lopez.
came in. He was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" You know, and it was just. It's really awesome. Yeah, you meet a lot of, and just even regular people coming in, buying for their grandmother or their kids, and you know, and then they remember you. They remember those recommends that you. Oh, my daughter loved that, and you know, it's like. It's Ohana. It's like having family come back over and over again. It's.
Well, I want to give a special shout out to you, Cindy, because I remember years ago when I was going to do one of them, you know, and a lot of times, you know, people don't even try that are self-published. I mean, you know, gosh, and now it's CreateSpace. It's gone. It's even harder. I mean, no, honest to God, it's like I was almost decided this last year I was not going to do any more books because it's becoming more and more difficult. You know, I mean. Everyone is trying to get you now with Amazon on KDP, but I'll tell you, KDP is all geared for you doing something for free. They want you to put the book up for, you know, so they can do Amazon Prime, and then they just say $0, you get this book for free. The result is people don't think about this. It's nice you think you can get a book for free, but the author gets nothing. I mean, you get pennies, you know, you get, you know, I think I got like $150 from my ebooks last year, you know, because you just don't get it's there for zero, you know. I mean, everyone has Amazon Prime now, so you get very little money. So it's become a strange beast where people are going, well, I want to write a book, but after 6 books, I'm going, well, why should I write a book anymore? You know, what's the point of writing a book, you know? But when you have a place like your place, I went in years ago, this was back in Lahaina, and I said, well, I introduced myself to you. And number one, I got to meet you. A lot of times you go in stores and you can't even meet the person. No, you can't. They make themselves impossible to reach if they're there at all, right?
Yeah.
But you took the ownership enough to being involved. In fact, the person I spoke to when you weren't there said, oh, no, she's very involved in the community. She likes supporting authors and doing things, you know. And you did indeed make it easy. And I was able to do I think did 3 book signings there and a CD maybe once or twice, but that's because you made it possible. And some places, you know, in some communities, that's almost impossible to do because people don't know it. But it's hard for bookstores like Barnes and Noble to do CreateSpace books because they're self-published and they're published on demand.
Yeah. An author just asked me, I'd be interested in a signing. And then he's like, well, how do you get paid? And I was like, no, I don't get paid. You know, utilize me as a platform. Come in, we'll create the space for you. It's an opportunity to introduce your book, you know, meet the community. And if you sell books, great. And if you meet new connections, great. And if my customers have explored something that they possibly wouldn't have before, great, you know. Yeah.
I remember I did at Borders, I did the Practicing Aloha CD, and Mick Fleetwood came down, and
so cool.
Mark Ellman came down because he did the book, and that did very well for him. Of course, that was Heritage. Heritage is a big publishing place out of Oahu, so they've got their power.
Island Heritage.
Island Heritage, yeah, they've got the reach, right?
Yeah. We have contracts with them.
And they bought out Mountain Apple.
Yes.
They bought out Mountain Apple, which is a big one. A lot of people, I'm surprised that didn't make big news when Mountain Apple went under. That was a huge thing for music, you know.
Yeah, that was a big transition for us, too, because we had Mountain Apple's transition to Island Heritage.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, well, what's going on here? Mountain Apple was always the place that had CDs available local, and they even made it easy. They were very smart in marketing and able to have the things, you know, fed to you, and you'd have the easy-to-buy purchase sites. But, so now it's come down to a much more limit. Nothing wrong. Island Heritage is great, you know, but it's like, well, where are the options, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Island Heritage or nothing, right? I don't know of any other big CD distribution places anyway.
Yeah, no, not CDs,
So, you know, for individuals doing it themselves, there's a lot of challenges. And that goes with people going, well, maybe I won't do a CD, you know, maybe I shouldn't do a CD.
We do have local music at the store.
Oh, yay.
I've created a little bay, so we have some, you know, local music, and if it's in Island Heritage or if it's with the company, we could get it in once it's in our database.
So you got to be friends with Island Heritage folks.
No.
just saying it helps, right? But there's been things, people don't realize that there's on Oahu every year. It started very small. There's this book fair that they do. I believe it's May or June.
Is that the?
It's the one that's put on by Roger.
Yeah, and tons of publishers come.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Barnes and Noble is there as well.
Yeah, and I'd love to see something like that here.
Yeah, we did have a Maui book fair, but they took it to Oahu. I remember that back in the day. It was Maui,
And even, made on Maui, there's a few people, but basically there's not one central place that people have. So being able to have Barnes & Noble have local, made on Maui. We have some amazing authors, amazing writers, amazing artists, amazing musicians.
Absolutely. The best.
We really do. And if people can't get it, if they can't buy it, it strangles the artist.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough making a living. Most people don't expect to make a living as an author.
Yeah.
A little secret, guys. You don't expect to make money off writing a book or doing a CD. No.
J.K. Rowling's books.
I mean, there's always the one, right, that you go, well, this person. And Kalani, God bless you, Kalani Paya, doing so well now, but he's broke.
Yeah.
He got his second Grammy, he's in there. But I mean, he's getting recognized everywhere, but he's not making money.
Yeah.
It's very expensive going around and doing these tours and doing these things, and stuff like that. So if you get even like a door opened a little ways, even a little opening like Barnes and Noble, you go, wow, okay, well, this way I can at least get out there. I can meet the people. I know that I can tell people to go down and hopefully musicians and authors and writers will say, hey, you can go down to Barnes & Noble and you can pick this up. That makes a big difference.
And if we don't have it and if it's available, we can order it. So that has what really been our saving grace as well. I mean, obviously we don't have every title that we can have, but we can always do a ship to home and we can always order it to their home.
Well, that's really nice.
And ship it to the mainland even if they want.
I was impressed. I called you the other day and I said my name and that I had these books, and you were literally, while I was talking to you on the phone, going, well, I see this here and I see that there, and I'm going, how are you doing that? It's like so fast right there. You were able to look it up, right?
Yep.
Is that all through Ingram House, or is that
it's our Barnes & Noble resource, It's everything that we have in our database will come up as we type in the author or even a key word. A lot of times people come in and they say, oh, I don't know what this book is. It's red, but it had this. And you're just like typing as they go, like, okay.
Red book.
Red book on the But that's also, you'll find it. Eventually they'll remember a little something and it'll come up and there's a visual. So that's the book.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, you can even do that.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So who has, give me the demographic of the people who you see coming in over the last year.
I want to say everyone.
Really?
Everyone. We have people from upcountry. We have our west side that has come in and visited us and never, forget to say, we missed you on the west side. Like, we missed you too. That was probably the most frequent thing I've heard. We miss you on the west side. And it's such a wonderful feeling. And I always thank them for coming in. Thank you for coming here, just as Central came to Lahaina.
Well, they got to go buy it if going to Costco.
Yeah. And then they do say, like, oh, when I'd go to Lahaina, I'd make sure we stop there. And now I hear it from the opposite side. So when I do my Costco run, I come and see you, and I'm like, thank you. We have a lot of loyal members. We really do.
For good reason. The same reason we were talking about it. It's a very personalized thing.
Yeah.
It's a living thing. It's not something that's just like a warehouse that, is franchise and people just go get what they want and they don't know the name of anyone. They get to know the name of you and they get to know what the store is about. And it's like it's part of the community, especially when you have local music and you have local CDs and you have local books and book. You're going to have the children books are so important, and there are some good children authors here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
we've got some greatest. Like I mentioned, Jill McBarnett's going to be there at 11 with her mermaid. But we have a bunch of Hawaiiana books, which is also
very
fabulous.
Popular.
Very popular. And then just your amazing ones that all kids want, Harry Potter, Wimpy Kid, all those. And then graphic novels has been a real success for us as well in the young readers. Yeah.
Really?
I think what it is it's not a afraid book. They see a big fat book and they go, oh, but the graphic novel still has text and then it has the visual. So that's been a really, really good category for us right now.
I'm just about running out of time.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a minute.
Oh.
I want to ask you so much more about the
We
trends of
forgot
what you
about
see.
the opening. Yeah.
Well, tell us more about the opening last minute.
Just the blessing starts at 9. It's Ku'u Alalani Estrella Hill. It's going to be there
I
at
know.
9.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
And then Jill at 11. And then Gary Greenberg is going to come in.
Oh, I
and
love
do
him.
Yeah.
Dr. Gary Greenberg is wonderful.
Yep, from 2 to 5. And then Mahuri Yajai is going to do The Far Field. So she's also a Discover Great New Writers, and a New York Times Magazine article landed today or yesterday on her. So I'm looking really excited on that. Yeah.
Can they go to a site or find out more at some place?
Yeah, you can go to barnesandnoble.com and look at our store and our events, and it'll show our calendar.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
so cool. We should give a shout out to your sister.
Yeah, this is Jordan. Jordan's
Jordan's been doing a great job. She's even showing pictures of the books.
Jordan has also worked for the company for such a long time. So
Thank
she's
you,
also
Jordan.
the face of
You can see it at J at the Facebook.
Facebook is
BN Kahului.
BN Kahului.
BN Kahului.
Instagram at BN Kahului as well.
Well, thank you so much,
No,
Cindy
thank
and
you.
Jordan. I appreciate it so much.
We appreciate you.
having us.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.